Three Toyota coil packs at 195,000 miles. Plug wires have been done before. Yep, I think this is going to be a much happier car when I'm done. It's gloomy and cold right now, but the sun's trying to peek out from underneath this, and it's going to warm up a bit. And today, we have a Camry here for a tune-up. So today is going to be my regular special. We're going to do the valve cover gasket, valve cover seals, spark plugs, wires, coil packs, because them's been here since the car was made. But another thing to look for on your Toyota, this will take one away from you. If you ever hear about one with oil consumption or smoking, that's why. The snorkel tubes break, and now it's just unfiltered air going straight in there, sanding up them piston rings and valves. So, we got a new one of these in the box. That's going on it too. Given the humidity, I don't know if we're going to do much painting and refinishing on this one today. I think we're just going to clean it up and put it back together. We shall see. Going to do this quickly and efficiently if possible. Not a whole hell of a lot to it, but should make a great improvement on this one at 195,000 miles. Let's get started.
Here's you a handy reference, some still shots of where I found these spark plug wires. Now I recommend you do a check yourself as to where they go so you get your firing order correct and don't have a heart attack at the end of the service. But look what I've done here in the last photo. I've made a dot representing each cylinder number above where it would plug into its coil pack. So there's a handy legend just forever. I have had firing order issues with these things before. I think they change which order it goes on your coil packs every couple of years. Then you get on Google and you find the right answer for the wrong car. So an easy way to avoid that is to make yourself a little legend. So I've marked that 1, 4, 2, 3, which 1, 4, 2, 3. So we've got it all marked, so now it won't be hard to put back the way it's supposed to be at all. There's a handy little legend there for those who can interpret the hieroglyphics. Getting it all stripped down. So I've got the offending broken intake snorkel out of the way. I still got what's left of it stuck over there. I took out the whole box as an assembly. There is a snorkel tube that goes down to the evap chamber or whatever the hell it is. That's usually hard to get out, so that's best done with the piece out of the car. I have good access to my fuel filter. That's good. I've got my valve cover all down. All I need to do is loosen them rings and we'll be able to lift that. So everything's marked and happy, and here's this piece I'm talking about. So don't try to rip that thing off of there. It won't come out that easy. If you look inside, it's like a pressed in metal fitting. I can get that out now that I have the old one out on the ground, but don't destroy this pipe right here trying to get it out, or else you're going to have all kinds of fun at Home Depot with PVC pipe making a solution. New air filter for it. That's going to be good. So, new box of parts. Let's get it rocking. All right, folks, what we have here freshly extracted is a Toyota factory fuel filter from the 4th month of 2002 installed on this 2002, I guess it is, Camry. So yeah, I expect this to run a whole lot better with my inexpensive replacement fuel filter. Let's get that mounted in. That was at the bottom. We'll start there. But yeah, I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when I see something that I know is going to make a benefit. That's one of them for sure. With the bad and with the good. Somebody's changed these before, and they used a quality NGK iridium spark plug. I'm going back with the Denso double platinum U-groove as called for by the manufacturer, so that'll make that happy. Only the one of them's got the oily mess, but all of them look a little bit crispy. This thing's probably been burning some oil with that throat neck broken. Also, could have been running a bit lean from time to time. A bunch of tar came out of that fuel filter. This car will be happier after this. The valve cover off the car, ready for cleanup. Went ahead and wiped down my gasket mating surface. That should be good enough. You can see 200,000 miles of grime inside this one, but I've seen a hell of a lot worse. Looks like a happy functioning engine. So let's get that valve cover cleaned up.
It's not the grossest, but it's gross enough. I got to find my cleaning chemicals. I don't see where they're at around here, which is kind of pissing me off. I'm going to go in the house and warm up for a second. Clean this up, then get it all put back together. No paint today. It's just too cold. It won't set. Okay, well, we use mineral spirits, a brush, and a rag, and we got that cleaned up pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me to feel like I've taken pride in what I'm doing here. It's too cold to paint it, so raw aluminum, it stays. That's the back side. That's the face side. It's going to look like it don't leak. I love to paint them, folks. That's my favorite thing to do. But if it ain't going to stick, it ain't going to stick. Like I'm trying to run low on supplies today. I just barely managed to get this to pee out enough in that channel to hold my new gasket in. Today I'm using a Felpro because it's shipped from the same location. They're not my favorite, and this is why. They fold it up and roll it up in a knot before they ship it to you. So you have to give it a minute to unflex and uncurl. But I had enough of this to hold it in place in there. Shouldn't be hard to drop that on. So I'm going to just let that cure for a minute. Let that stuff set up. All that stuff does, it does not seal it. It holds your gasket in place while you work with it. Think hairspray for a gasket. So all that's going to do is make this less likely to try to fall the hell out while I'm trying to arrange it onto the engine. And that's my next step, is to make sure that's clean and to install it. Let's get on it. 3 Toyota coil packs at 195,000 miles. Plug wires have been done before. Yep, I think this is going to be a much happier car when I'm done. Got the valve cover back on it. Got the PCV valve and grommet back in it. Got that tightened down. You can see a little bit of my gasket tack on the outside, but that'll be okay. Gonna wipe down some of the spoo from where this mounts and get this installed. Folks, I built a Camry. So we got the valve cover installed, we got the spark plugs in, we got the new wires installed, we got the new coil packs installed, we got that intake snorkel tube installed, everything plugged back in. New fuel filter down here. Gonna have to do a quick test before I crank it to monitor that, make sure it's not leaking, make sure it's tight enough. Everything good there. New torque strut mount, new PCV valve. This should be a happy engine, folks. Time for me to get the pudding out of the proof. Again, I'm prepared to check that fuel filter again, and I still need to go over it and do a final tight check and a letter up. But first, we're going to make sure it's right. That for a quick test drive, and it idles and runs like a different car. Up next will be a complete suspension on this one. It's ready for all of it. But we didn't have a check engine light before. We got pep back in the engine now. It idles totally differently. But you know, 20-year-old fuel filters and spark plugs and coil packs will do that sort of thing. Now that the intake air actually comes through the air filter, the map sensor will read correctly, a lot of things are going to act better on this car now. So that one's a big win. Time for me to go get my better, brighter paint pen and doll it all up.